Welcome back to the N.y.a show, episode 93. What's going on with everybody? I appreciate you guys for continuously supporting the show. I would like to hope that everybody is having a great week so far as we make it through this hump day and we head into the weekend. Drop your weekend plans below. Hey, if you follow me on any social media platforms, specifically on Instagram, N.y.a underscore TKO is hacked. So please, brother, did not turn $300 to $7,000 through forex. That one is not anything that I've ever done. My page is hacked, and until then, I am completely out of the page until I'm able to get in contact with no customer service. Instagram, do better, Instagram. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't get inside the page right now. Nothing associated with it I can respond to. Even the post that has been made is nothing that I could have made. These mother chuckers is clever. Now, let's get straight into the story of this week because this episode is episode 93. And let's talk technology. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt warns China could cripple U.S. military economy. This information is just coming from a think tank that came together to talk about this particular topic. A new report from a U.S. think tank chaired by the former Google CEO Eric Schmidt is raising alarm bells over China's potential to win the technology race and the process cripple the U.S. economy and military. You may not see that as something possible now. You hear shit like that, like what? But we're talking about 20, 30 years into the future. This is a mid-decade challenge to national competitiveness. This report was compiled by the Special Competitive Studies Project, a think tank for over a 10-month period. They had 4 board meetings with 26 panel meetings with over 225 experts, including government officials, technologists, academic leaders. The confusion marked for stark reading, suggesting that microelectronics, artificial intelligence, and 5G are destiny-shaping technology for the U.S. between now and 2030. The report states that these 3 areas of technology tell the story of a nation and its allies, coming perilously and unwittingly close to seeding the strategic technology landscape along with the capacity to shape the future. That's because the U.S. economy, society, and national security all rely on them, which is why China is gaining dominance in these areas as viewed so dangerous when they're gaining fuels in these areas. That's something that we have to also consider. Are we staying in competition for this long term race? The U.S. government is taking a harder line towards China and its access to advanced technology this year. Remember, Donald Trump wanted to kick TikTok out of the damn country. He didn't want nobody getting on it because it wasn't a U.S. owned company. He was like, yo, there's too much information to be given to the ops as they see it. So here it is in a situation where we come out as a loser. They're saying the worst case scenario seems to be that China takes control over Taiwan. Anybody knows Taiwan is wants to be something different outside of China, and of course the United States rock with Taiwan. Like, we're gonna let y'all stay independent, keep doing y'all thing, rocking. But China got a real issue with that because it's in their backyard, much sort of like this whole Ukraine and Russia situation. You rocking with the ops, and you right here in my backyard. Nah, I don't know about all that. You too close. You too close, man. You too close. And cuts off the supply of rare earth minerals to the U.S., which means it could cripple the military and plunge us into a depression. Americans are forced to live in a world where China can turn off the technology tap. So basically, they're saying if the other nation gets a hold of the technology and the minerals, like in most anything, if they get in control of the resources that's needed to advance us going forward in the future, we could be in trouble. That's what they're telling us here. And let's continue on. Let's talk about some solutions, things that they said between 2025 and 2030 that are critical for them to take control, the United States to take some control of the future when it comes to technology, filling this gap that China is definitely going to make smaller and smaller all the way to they can almost touch you. Harness innovation across commercial, academic, and government sections to build advantage in crucial technology. So basically, they're saying that the United States needs to motivate, promote technology, which that's not to say that they don't. You got to remember that out of the last 20 years, what was brought into this landscape that changed things. The way that we do internet, social media. Mark Zuckerberg, that's an American. Jack Dorsey, who's the owner of Twitter, created Twitter, that was an American. Isaac Hayes, the third, the owner of a fan base. That's an American. So let's not say in the last 20 years we haven't had thought leaders when it comes to technology to kind of lead us into the future. And everybody, if we want to talk about people having information, American company, Facebook, everybody in the world, just about, unless they just don't have access to the internet, is reliant and knows about Facebook. It connects people all across the world. Use the government intervention and investments to bring technology, hardware malfunctioning back to the U.S. Hey, the U.S. got to put put the money where your mouth is. If you say that technology is what's going to lead us into the future as far as military and national security, we got to be in control of that. So you got to bring those resources back here and harness that stuff here. Sort out AI governance while also allowing for technology breakthroughs and their swift implementation to improve lives and gain an advantage in many sectors. So I think I'd take that as we people talk about AI and running from it. The United States needs to go ahead and get in front of it with the people that we have in this country that are moving AI forward and say, hey, let us tap into this and see exactly what it is so that we can better use it for our military is what I would think that they're taking from things like that. Double down on technological solutions and standards to keep the internet open and secure. So remember net neutrality and things like that came across maybe like 2 or 3 years now. I don't know what happened to that big conversation when it came to the internet. All those posts that was going around saying the internet was going to cost money and you have to pay to get on Facebook and Twitter and all these other things. Net neutrality, I guess that's out of the picture for right now. It'll come back into the frame at one point, just like everything else do. But for right now, I haven't heard anybody speaking big on net neutrality in a while, unless I'm just myself out of the loop. Adopt a new military strategy referred to as the Offset X and focuses on distribution and network operations, human machine collaboration, human machine teaming, primacy and software centric welfare, resilience and greater technology interpretability and interchangeability with allies and partners. So at the same time that you want us to advance with technology, we got to also harness our relationships with the same people that we're trying to get in front of. We need to harness those relationships and still share and build information between each other because you got to always know what the other person is doing if you truly out here trying to stay ahead of the game. So those are some solutions that we say, 6 solutions that they're saying could put us ahead and through their research, through their think tanks and the meetings that they had as far as this technology race. Perform a digital transformation in the U.S. intelligence community by leveraging dedicated tech-driven open source organization and create new capability capacities for capturing foreign economic, financial, and tech intelligence. So at the end of the day, we have to take the digital world and upgrade it in all assets of how we do our business and operate as a country and try our best to get ahead of that. Let me know what your thoughts are here. This is just ideas saying that, hey, technology is the future of your security and of your people and when it comes to media outlets, everything. So what are you going to do to always be ahead of that? It starts with in the ground and the materials that it takes to make any of this technology work in the first place, and who has control of the resources is going to be very important in this conversation as to who gets ahead of who when it comes to this world of technology and advances. Let me know what you think about this story. It's the N.y.a show episode 93. Once again, N.y.a_TKO is hacked and I don't have any access to it until God knows when. So I appreciate y'all and I'll see you next week.